in my old collection, I used to have quite a bit of Frank Zappa, mostly on CD, but I even had the first couple albums I'd found, cheap in different places, we're only in for the money, stuff like that. And then CDs, I remember I had the series, a CD series of guitar playing. It's just different of his guitar solos. The thing with Frank Zappa is I put it on once and I would never play it again. I don't get it. I mean, it just didn't jump at me. What I did, it just wasn't my deal. So when the collection started over, someone sent me a Frank Zappa album. And I listened to it and I go, okay, that's all right. And then I'm out doing that pick. I went to the one lady's house and I was able to go down and pick records from out there. And I picked 30 albums. 2 of them were Frank Zappa, of all things. I'm still kind of scratching my head what I'm doing. And then I got another one at Radio Wasteland. And so I've never listened to Frank Zappa. Let's say that. I have played Frank Zappa, but I haven't listened to Frank Zappa. And there's a big difference. Listening, you got to sit still. You can't try to multitask. You have to sit there and pay attention to what's going on. And that is what I did. So I listened to Frank Zappa and I wrote notes as I went along in absolute, incredibly great chicken scratch. So let's talk about what I heard on my 4 Frank Zappa albums and what I think about them. Okay? And we're going to begin with this one. Hot Rats. Used to have that. This is considered a classic. The reason why I bought Frank Zappa back in my old collection is, it was always said, this is an important album to have. This is one you have to have. In my collection, I did so much that I just bought stuff because it was considered extremely important. In my new collection, I don't give a crap. It's got to be something I want to listen to. So, but I got this during that pick. So Hot Rats. This came out in 1969. And here's what I kind of got on this. It starts with Peaches and Regalia. It says, and I got to read my writing. Let's see, nice start. I'm not a fan of saxophones overall, but this was kind of bright. It was sunshiny, and there was a very nice flute. I don't always say there's a nice flute, but there was. And I says, great ending. It kept building and building, and it had kind of a classical feel to it. So I liked that, the Peaches and Regalia. The next one was Willie the Pimp. Loved it. Just thought it was fantastic. Shows he has guitar chops. And I was really blown away by the guitar solos on that. Rhythm section is great, propulsive drumming. So Willie the Pimp really stood out to me as a great song. Then we have The Son of Mr. Green Jeans. I put listenable. It's listenable. It's orchestrated, great fiery guitar solo and killer bass parts, but got better as the song went. So obviously I did not like the beginning of it, but as it went, the guitars really came into play and I began to enjoy it more. Little Umbrellas, jazzy but pleasant, more kind of pop-oriented, I guess. Then we have the Gumbo Variations. Yes, the Gumbo Variations. Distorted sax. Would have been a good jazzy solo if it didn't sound, if it just didn't sound so bad, I guess. Bass and drums were on point, killer, and more killer guitars. So the the gumbo variations, obviously, I'm kind of torn between that. Not a fan of the distorted sax, but did love the guitars. And then the last song, It Must Be a Camel, was my least favorite. Piece was nice, still not liking the sax. Did not like the sax. It is not Cannonball Adderley is what I wrote on there. So, yeah. But overall, I found this really good, predominantly because of Zappa's guitar soloing. I thought that was just really phenomenal, and he just did a great job, and it was very impressive. The drums and bass were good. Just forget the sax. Then we're going to go to, there we go. All right. Weasels Ripped My Flesh. Alrighty. What I've seen. One said, hey, you should have this album. That's an important album. And it's great. What a great picture, isn't that? Weasels Ripped My Flesh. This came out in 1970, so right after Hot Rats. I think this is what was left over after Hot Rats. My very first thing I put was not relaxing. So, didn't you get any Anya? Did you get any Anya? Did you get any Anya? Classical freestyle, crazy honking sax, vocal ending, obnoxious. Okay, well, there we go. So we start off with obnoxious and the freaking sax I'm not digging. The next song, Directly From My Heart to Yours. Great blues type opening with guitar and violin sounding like a harmonica. Tolerable. Okay, tolerable. That's pretty good for me on this album. Then we have Prelude to the Afternoon. A lot of noise, seems like no real plan, only gets worse with scary vocals. So, okay. We go into Toads of the Short Forest. Seriously? That's what that's called. Toads of the Short Forest. Yeah. Well, you know you're in trouble there. Jazz drumming. And the jazz drumming at the start that changes more tribal. Sweet song morphs into something sinister and very chaotic. So I liked the beginning of it, and then it just all went south and went completely to hell for me. Get a Little. Not politically correct. Rip off her drawers. Rip off her drawers, I guess, is part of the thing on there. Decent guitar playing, but nothing exciting. Eric Dolphy, Memorial Barbecue. Well, that just kind of says you might have some problems right there. Not as way out as I expected. So, see, I expected that thing to suck really bad for me. But I did say Restaurant with the restraint with the end, then then the horn honks and squeaks. Okay, all right. So I guess I was liking it until the end, and then more horn honks and squeaks. I don't know why to say restaurant. I really have a hard time with my writing. Absolutely. I did say driving drums, but the driving horns during doing their own thing. So it kind of goes into that free jazz. The cat really wants to jump on my lap right now. The cat is just absolutely staring at my lap. He wants to jump right on there. Okay, so not, again, the horn playing just goes nutty. Then we have Dwarf Neba? March and Dwarf Nebula. Dwarf Nebula Processional, March and Dwarf Nebula. What the hell? What kind of thing is that? Classical start, then got really weird. Didn't like it. My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. Almost conventional sounding. easiest song to handle on the whole album. Oh no, funny lyrics, but very, very wordy. Maybe just a little too much. Then we go the Orange County Lumber Truck. Jesus. Zappa didn't take drugs. He's always been known to be, very clean, and he wanted his band members to be clean. I don't know how much that worked or whatever, but he just wonders, where do you come up with this stuff? So this was Orange County Lumber Truck. That was my favorite. Upbeat with rhythms, driving drums, great guitar solo. Had to wait until the end to really find any enjoyment in the song. But once I found it, I was pretty darn happy with that one. Weasels Rip My Flesh. And my thing was, when this was what must have inspired Lou Reed to do Metal Machine music, because that's what it sounded like was happening. Unlistenable. Unlistenable to me. So this album was difficult. I see no reason for me to ever put that on. If you love that album, that's great. Your mind is much better than mine. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Alrighty, let's go to the next one here. And it goes to, this came out in 1973. And we have Over-Nite Sensation. 1973, Over-Nite Sensation. This was his first gold album. It actually was commercial. People were digging this. Heavy guitar rock with jazzy chord changes, funky rhythms, and accessible is what I thought about this album. Now, politically correct, it is not. And nobody, I can't see, this is where Two Live Crew came up with their stuff, I think. It starts with Carmelo Brillo. I was using the Spanish double L's there. Catchy tune, nice piano, very sexually explicit. Implicit satire. So Zappa, when they would always ask him, what is with you with the lyrics on this album? And he says it's an implicit satire of male stupidity. Maybe so. He was also part of the whole free love thing too going on. So I don't know. It was pretty bad. I'm the Slime. I got crap coming from the TV. Okay. Great guitar solo, best part of the song. So I was having a hard time figuring out what the hell they're even singing about on that one. I'm the Slime. Talking about, this crap coming from the TV. So I thought, is that about the news? Must be about the news. All the crap coming from it. Wasn't a fan of it. Dirty Love. All right, that was the next song. I actually knew that song. I've heard of that song. I've listened to that song. It had very funky synths in there along with mixed with searing guitars. More excellent guitar solos. And I am impressed when Zappa does these guitar solos. He is. They're very, very good. It's just that there's so much other crap mixed in with them. 50/50 is the name of the next song. Funky bass, but not memorable. More comic, goofy synth break going on. Guitar solo is kind of out there. So I was kind of 50. Well, actually, I wasn't even 50/50 on that one. Wasn't a favorite. Then you got Zombie Wolf. And I put annoying. Gets wonky. Free jazz. Starts rocking harder the second half and a little bit funkier. But the beginning of the first half of Zombie Wolf, I just could have done without. I just don't need the free jazz on it. Dynamo Hum, an extremely long, explicitly sexual song, no hidden innuendo whatsoever. Absolutely. It's not like blues music where it's all about innuendo. No, they were just going to come right out and say, we're going to rip your pants off. We're going to do this. We're going to do that to you. Very, very, very explicit. Final song was Montana. Going to Montana to raise dental floss. That had me confused immediately. It's tongue-in-cheek, I'm going to say of something. Maybe it's meaning something else. It's beyond my mind. What was interesting is Tina Turner and the I-Kits were the backing vocals on that. It had excellent guitar soloing to go with a very absurd story. Overall, this album's pretty listenable. There was some stuff I could do without that I would skip over, but it is not Hot Rats, so much better. The final one, this one was gifted to me. And we have Zoots Allures. Zoots Allures. And this came out in 1976. What did I put on this one? Wind up working in a gas station. Interesting song, but goofy vocals ruin it. We have Blue Napkins. Great guitar playing. Enjoyable. Heavy. What he can do. Really, really liked it. So Blue Napkins really, to me, was Zappa at his best, showing that, man, he just can make awesome music. The torture never stops. The torture never stops. That's that I think is reference to Weasels Ripped My Flesh. I've really felt that way. The torture never stopped on that album. I put pretty dark tune. Woman being tortured or having an orgasm. I couldn't tell which. Very moody song. Guitar solo is great. It's very, very long, but yeah, it was. And just the woman, is it an orgasm or is she screaming because of a torture? It was just kind of disturbing and bothersome to me. Yeah, maybe I'm just too much of a choir boy, I guess. My Pinky. Okay song, didn't make me want to scratch the record, so I would skip over it. So, well, that's kind of a positive, isn't it? There, yeah. Wonderful Vinyl starts off with a hard rock riff. You know, lyrically, it telling a story, but the guitars are the hero of the song. Really, again, another great show of what the guitars can do with Frank Zappa. Wonderful Vinyl. Zoots Allures, very jazzy. 70s laid-back jazz feel. Another enjoyable instrumental. And Disco Boy. I'd heard this one before too. It was really now very, very outdated. So some of the vocals are grating. High-pitched vocals on the chorus, very grating. Not a bad song, just trying to be too cute. So not that big. Am I a Frank Zappa fan? No. But did I learn to like him better? Yes. Would I buy more Frank Zappa? Yes. Would I need to be careful? Yes. Because there is some of his stuff, it's like a Captain Beefheart. It's not me. It goes too much into the avant-garde, shall we say. And I struggle with that. But 3 of the 4 I can listen to. The lyrics just get a little stupid at times, but the guitar playing, really impressive. So, I've listened to Frank Zappa. I found, for the most part, I can kind of handle him. Thanks for sticking with me. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.